Good evening. I have so many things to share. It's amazing. All of a sudden, I feel covered up. Okay, so things are changing and continuing to change, mostly on the inside of me. Excuse me, I want to get something behind my lower back. I seem to always need to sit up really straight lately. Hey, why not? Okay. First, I don't know if you know it, but we have a national treasure in Byron Katie. I don't know if you've ever examined what she does. She calls it the work. She's one of those people that had a hell of a time waking up. Uh, she went to sleep one night, a regular person, and woke up the next day so awakened that she was lost. It was like she was not just a babe in the woods. She was so lost. Everything was so totally changed in her life that it's pretty much unbelievable. The lady wasn't doing drugs, you know. Um, and I found a really good interview. It's very recent, just came out today on Conscious TV. So I have a link for you in the transcript, and I really suggest you watch it. The interview itself is about 48 minutes long. And then at the end, they've tucked in a little 15-minute session of her doing the work. Her little, it's her method of inquiry is what it is. It's just simple inquiry, very, very simple. But anyway, you'll get what I want you to get if you just listen to, I'd say at least half of the interview. Do listen from heart. It will be unbelievable to mind. She was so out there after she awoke. Everything was so one to her that she had no concept of separation. And so she would let herself into other people's homes and just being friendly, go in and sit down. And she didn't understand the concept of this is me, that's you, this is my home, where's your home? She didn't understand the concept of having an address. I'm telling you, she was wiped clean. For whatever reason, she spent several years that weren't rocky for her so much as they were rocky for those who loved her, those around her. Especially her family. I mean, oh my God, you talk about being changed after an NDE. This goes beyond that, and that's pretty extreme too. So I wouldn't wish this kind of an awakening on anyone. I really wouldn't. But we get to benefit and be blessed by the result. It's now many years later. She has thoroughly adjusted and adapted, and she's as fresh as a daisy still. She's 60 plus, and you wouldn't believe, I hope some of you out there will fall in love with Byron Katie the way I have. Okay, so I have that interview for you. She's empty. This is real emptiness. And this is what having a sense of oneness looks like. We have to stretch our imaginations generally because we don't have many examples like this of what it looks like. And so I'll be watching it several times just to get the sense of it. It's not that there's anything to be learned mentally. There's not. Mentally, everything is to be unlearned. But just to get the sense, the flame, the energy, the vibe, whatever it is, she's a gem. Okay. Um, I've been talking about the way things have been falling away and we've been detaching, and many people that I'm communicating with are losing acquaintances, friends here and there. I mean, things are just changing as they have been for me, um, in surprising ways, ways you wouldn't expect. All of a sudden, somebody just drops off. And I hope no one is stressing or distressing over this. I hope we have the good grace to allow the flow. This is a part of our riding that spiral on up. All right, as the frequency gets faster and faster, higher and higher, it makes for discomfort for anyone who's not on that kind of a frequency. It's just awkward and uncomfortable. And so there's a natural, what I'm going to call a natural sorting out going on. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. There's no judgment around this. That doesn't mean because one of your friends falls off that you're better than they are because your vibration is higher and oh my goodness, they just couldn't keep up with you. That's not what I'm saying, okay? Okay. Value judgments out the window, okay? That's dualityville. That is so 2011. All right, this is 2012. We're making adjustments. We're making big adjustments, and we're making them fast. It doesn't really look like it because when you go from day to day and you wake up, sometimes things maybe even seem to be going kind of slow. But I think if we'd step back 2 or 3 paces and have another look, we'd see that things really are going pretty fast. So when things fall away, let them. Sort yourself out. Unsubscribe from a few people that don't quite click with you anymore. Tighten it up. Find yourself. And the best way to find yourself is to be true to your own vibration, your own frequency, your own whatever it is, your own heart. Okay? Tighten it up. Make yourself happy. Love yourself. Nurture yourself. Okay. Now, I got a message from someone that is going to remain anonymous, simply because I didn't ask permission to share it. But it doesn't, the who doesn't matter at all. This is really a sample of what's going on now. And I thought it would help more people if I would share it this way and give answer. So this person says, unknowingly, I have been taken up by the mind. I became judgmental, curious about things, and my mind started shopping. I also see resistance. It started this week, maybe last week. I found myself fully taken by situations and judging and talking again and again. Also, I see a bit of ego controlling me. Okay, so I want to say that it's getting intense. And so what I see happening is not only the falling away of things that aren't just right, that don't click with us anymore, there's also the rising up from the things, the subconscious and the unconscious, the things that remain hidden, our beliefs and our own darkness, our own untransmuted substance will come up to be looked at and seen and maybe let go of. And so what I'm going to recommend is to just watch. Don't do anything, just watch. This is perfect because this person is self-observing. And that's awesome. I mean, if we can only self-observe, as long as we're centered within, and mostly we are, because otherwise what we're observing is the world. So if we're really observing ourselves, that works best when we're centered or in the zone, or however you want to say it. So the thing to do isn't to try to fix any of that. It's just to keep watching it. So it goes on. I was not like this. I don't know what's happening with me. It's very uncomfortable. I wouldn't mind if anything happens. I wouldn't be taken or involved with happenings or do any projection. So things were fine until the frequency got jacked up a bit. And now the things that were fine at a lower frequency become uncomfortable to us. See, it's not just your friends that have an overall, different vibration than you now. You have a different vibration than some of the energies that you're carrying around. We all do. And actually, this is a really good thing for this stuff to be coming up, at least the way I read it. Okay? So everything was fine, and now all of a sudden it's uncomfortable, and what the heck? I didn't change anything. What's going on, Now my brain gives explanation for everything. I know most of our talkings are meaningless and useless. I don't recognize it when it's happening, since I'm fully absorbed in the drama. Isn't this, this is just beautiful self-observation. As long as we keep watching and keep watching and keep watching, right now, it's not recognized until after. But all we have to do is keep watching, and it's not long at all, and we'll be catching ourselves right after, and then in the middle. And pretty soon, we'll catch ourselves before it happens. Okay, where is my silence? Where is my deep understanding? I wanted to be fully taken by inner being. I wanted to go back to the place of an unknown who enjoys the flow of life and embraces everything with silence. Okay, so that kind of, there's a little bit more, but that kind of covers it. People might have an idea that I walk around in calmness and peace and silence and in the zone 24/7. I might be mostly self-aware all the time. That doesn't mean I'm at peace, or I'm not uncomfortable, or I don't get out of sorts, and so on and so on. So I guess what I want to say overall is that if you've been doing fine and all of a sudden everything's changed and you don't seem to be doing so fine and you don't know what the heck, it's probably because the frequencies have been jacked up another notch or two. And so it's a natural sorting out process. You're going to be sorting out things in yourself, not just subscriptions or friends or acquaintances. And so it's a letting go and a letting go and a letting go. And the more we let go of, the better. And when you don't know what to do, do nothing. Just watch. And keep watching. Because in our watching, if we will just be still and look at the thing that we're observing, if we'll look at it in the stillness, in the emptiness, the intuition will flow, will be shown. Heart will speak up, and you'll have the guidance you want. It just takes emptying out, and if we have too much stuff in the mind, we have too much clutter, and we've got too much of the hamster wheeling going on, and so we can't hear the heart. The heart is always speaking. But who is it said? It's the still small voice. I guess that's in the Bible, huh? It's very quiet. And so we have to be very quiet. And it's in the midst of that quiet that we'll just know. We'll be guided. We'll be led. We'll know what to do, if anything. I think a lot of times the thing to do is nothing, but just to watch. Do you notice how this whole thing is on autopilot? I don't think any of us are really choosing to have all these things fall away. I don't think we went through our to-do list and said, get rid of, Tom, Dick, and Jane, and unsubscribe from these 6 sites and all this other stuff. It's doing itself. What that means to me is we have the opportunity to be danced. We have the opportunity. There's a flow going on. Obviously, for those self-observing, things are changing. And so we have an opportunity to tune in with our own heart, and so we can ride the wave here. And it's very, very exciting. It's a real indicator of big change oncoming. And we've got all kinds of astrological happenings too. You guys can expect me to be basically out there until 2015 at this rate. I mean, Pluto, the slowest moving thing we keep track of in the solar system, is camped out on my natal sun, which means it's opposed natal moon Uranus. I mean, it means all kinds of interesting things. It means it's very, very intense, because Pluto is the one that is square with Uranus over the next several years. I think it's going to be directly square right on the 24th. So in a day or two here. And 6 more times between now and 2015. So that's deep, radical change, exciting stuff, electric things that you wouldn't expect, and really deep. I'm no astrologer this time around. I have been in other lifetimes. I've tuned into some of that. But if you want a real astrologer, go in search of one and see what you can find on Pluto-Uranus. The 60s was started when Pluto and Uranus were conjunct. I think it was in 65. And again in 66 or 67. You wonder, how can it be 7 times in the next several years? It's because they go retrograde. And then they go back. So they keep crossing over the point, just in case you wondered. And no, the planets don't really go backwards. It's just backwards in apparent motion when viewed from the Earth. When you get your natal chart and you look at it, and it's got all these planets around there, put the Earth in the middle. And so that's why it seems strange, because it's all looking from the perspective of planet Earth. I just finished Nancy Dannison's first book, Backwards. I think it's going back to our source for answers. It's really good. I got high on it again and again. You can really soar on this lady's energy and attunement. It's one of those rare books where I found myself synced up with her almost all the way through. There was only one section where I didn't feel she was quite right on, and the rest of the book is amazing. So I do want to recommend. She's got 3 books now, I think. She might have 4, I don't know. But anyway, she's one who had one of the deepest NDEs that you're going to find anywhere. Okay, I have lots more to say, but I don't want to clutter it all up and talk to you for an hour here. So I'll close for now and talk to you again soon. Namaste.